Do you like your red meat, Tim?
I'm looking at these beautiful steaks and I am very excited.
I'm glad you are, because I wasn't actually sure. I thought, oh, I should maybe have checked if Tim eats red meat or not. I am the biggest fan of this. Is my favourite cut of steak. It's nice and lean, it cooks beautifully. You just have to make sure that you don't overcook it when you do a really lean cut like this. These are fillets.
Are we talking medium rare here?
Yeah, I'm a medium rare. Some people are rare, but I'm a bit more medium rare. If you like your steak well cooked, then a fillet steak probably isn't the cut for you.
No.
So from a nutritional perspective, people are always asking me about, is red meat bad? As I talk, I'm just going to season up this meat ready to cook. But you know what? This is the best source of iron, of zinc, of other sort of nutrients. You've got some B group vitamins in there. I know from testing my own genes, I know that I actually don't suit a plant-based diet. I need these nutrients that come in red meat. So I think although there's a lot of, talk about the impact of red meat in health, this is a true paleo food, right?
Exactly.
We've evolved to eat meat, and it's all about your portion size and what you have it with.
Well, I don't want to test my genes because I'd be terrified if they told me not to eat
It's the wrong
meat.
thing.
I'm the opposite.
Give me the chef's perspective, because I read different things about whether you should salt the meat before you cook or after.
It can be a bit contentious. Obviously, salt, yes, but a lot of people won't pepper their steaks because they think the pepper will burn a little bit. I don't mind that bitterness that you get from the caramelised pepper. I don't mind
Yeah, I don't, and I'm going to put coffee in the gravy, so I think it's giving those beautiful, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Don't peppery kind of tastes go with me, so I'm just going to pop them in the pan. And the way I do it, I know there's lots of different ways to cook steaks, but especially when they're quite thick steaks like fillets, what I like to do is I sear it and then finish it in the oven.
That's a great tip.
Would you agree? Yeah.
I think you're able to control the heat a lot more and you're going to get a nice, even cook. Rather than trying to do it all in the pan, it can be difficult.
This works for me. So we just sear it just for a couple of minutes on each side.
The steaks look amazing.
They look good, don't they? And then my other little top tip that I learned from, the proper chefs of the world, like you, Tim, is to let it rest.
Yes.
So if I can get you to glad foil it.
You got it.
And just let that rest while you then use the same pan. So I'm going to pop in some red wine. And you know what? You could use, I don't know, brandy or cognac or, whatever. Don't worry if you're giving this to kids, by the way, because actually the alcohol burns off as soon as it's in the pan. Yeah. And then, Tim, if I can get you to use the corn, we're going to thicken the gravy with corn flour.
Make a little slurry.
So just make a little sauce with just some of that water.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to add the coffee to give us that lovely bitterness. And then my secret ingredient, this is one of my favourite. Do you use pomegranate molasses much, Tim?
Oh, I love it on ribs or anything like that for that real sweetness. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's just such an interesting, lovely texture. Pomegranate's one of my favourite fruits. But again, this is another, it's just I don't know, it's got those polyphenols, by the way, again. We're sort of giving a double whammy of the polyphenols. Go ahead and throw that in there for me.
You beauty.
And corn flour is gluten-free, so if you need to be gluten-free or you're in a low-gluten diet, that's the way to thicken your sauces, is corn flour. And then you just want to cook out the flour and you'll see that this will start to come together and be nice and thick.
Coffee and beef already love each other, so I love this idea of making a gravy with the infused coffee. It's such a fantastic idea.
I think I dreamt it up in the middle of the night one night and then thought, suggested it as a recipe.
Gravy.
And then thought, oh, I hope that works.
I can't wait to taste.
It does. And then if you've got cream in your fridge, then by all means, add a little bit of cream.
Couldn't you?
But I always have cream cheese in my fridge. So I very often substitute and use a little bit of cream cheese. So see how that's thickening up nicely? So I just pop in a wee bit of cream cheese.
And that'll just melt
And
through.
you melt that into the sauce. It gives a lovely, creamy, kind of velvety gravy. The other ingredient I sometimes put in this too is just to fry a few mushrooms. First of all, then add all of these other ingredients and you get a sort of
Bit of a
variation
mushy
on a
sauce.
mushy sauce.
Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
Ooh,
Okay.
Here you
We're
go.
ready to serve up.
Okay.
So
Unveil
let's
these beautiful steaks.
Unveil. And then the other thing I would always do is just see how there's just a little collection of juices there. Just pour that into your gravy. Don't want to waste anything.
Absolutely
You
not.
know? And then let's just pop out one of our steaks. You pour over a little of the gravy, and of course I would just serve this in the middle of the table in a nice gravy boat.
Oh.
A little bit of our sauce over the top.
The consistency of that coffee gravy is absolutely gorgeous.
And then I'm just going to pop on my green salad, and you know, I'm a Scot, don't give me steak without some tatties. So I would also do some, I don't know, some homemade potato chips that you do in the air fryer, or you bake them, or some boiled or roast potatoes with that would also be beautiful. Or some sweet potato chips indeed. But
yes.
Anyway, there we go. Oh. Nice drizzle of extra virgin olive oil in your salad, maybe some balsamic vinegar, but I would keep it fairly simple because I want that coffee gravy to be the hero.
Jo, that looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm going in, I'm going in.
Go for it, Tim.
Oh, beautiful,
Lovely.
blushing, pink, cooked to perfection. Need some of that coffee gravy.
That's the way I like it. A little bit pink in the middle.
Wow. The steak absolutely cooked to perfection. And that gravy, I mean, coffee, red wine, pomegranate molasses, all just works together. And I love that little addition of the cream cheese at the end, just to cream it up a little bit.
It works.
That's a winner.
That's my kind of meal. It really is.
Wow.
I'm glad I nailed it with you, Tim. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so steak with a little bit of extra oomph, I suppose, from the coffee. And the last thing I'll say is that if you're having it at night, you might want to use a decaf coffee, and you'll still get exactly the same flavours.
Love that.